Like, I don't know. I just, like, the wind was, like, it conquered me, man. I will say, though, like, I never quit.
I would describe Pacific Dunes, adjectives pop to mind: big, bold, brash, dare I say electric. It's a sensory overload. It's loud, it's challenging. It'll punch you in the face. It's American, right? It's the F-150. It's Van Halen's Eruption. It's the full feeling you get after Thanksgiving dinner. Like these uniquely American things that might not be original, but they're fresh and they're, unique take on things that came from somewhere else. The other courses at Bandon have the Good Walk Unspoiled, the meta, Walk in the Pasture, the Ode to the Old Country, all of that. And you get some of that at Pack Dunes, but I think, at the end of the day, it's a competition out there. It feels like sport at Pack Dunes. It feels like there are winners and losers on the 18th green. But that, to me, is uniquely American. That's as American as it gets. A golf course that has the old country inspiration, and then combine that with the power of the Pacific Ocean and the vastness of the American West, and you get modern American links golf.
The oak was recommended by a good friend of mine, Mr. Chicago Golf, Bill Sheehan, and who said, Tom is going to be a star, trust me. So I wanted to hire Tom, and as soon as David's Bandon Dunes did well, I jumped on the phone and said, Tom, you're going to be the next one. And he set out to better the course that David had done. I mean, that was a driving force. Whatever David did is fine, but I'm going to do something better. And based on the rankings, he did.
It's raw, it's different. It's kind of tough to describe what you're seeing, but you can hit a great shot out there, and if you misjudge it a little bit, you can end up with a double, triple bogey. Same thing, you hit a bad shot, get the right slope, and it's going to feed in right next to the hole.
I feel fine. I feel better than I did this morning. I need to find a feeling and kind of go with it. It's windy. Gotta fight my way through these first couple holes to get out to the coast. I'll grab a beer.
Well, it's important to note that the conditions are a huge factor at Pacific Dunes, and that's part of the challenge. It's a test against yourself, the course, and the elements. And for us, the wind was howling. So some people get blown off the hill, and other people they buckle down and they come out the other side of the tunnel.
I feel the conditions are way, way harder this afternoon. I think that, I don't know who that favors, honestly. I have so many points to get that I don't think it necessarily favors me, but honestly, who could say?
Kind of like the wind ramped up, the course, Pacific Dunes takes a few holes to ramp up. Kind of like an American diesel engine. You got to turn the thing over. And the opening hole, I wouldn't call it a handshake. I'd call it, the modern handshake, the dap, right? Where it throws you off balance immediately. It puts an iron in your hands. On this course that you've heard is big and brash and bold, you're hitting iron off the tee, which is, immediately kind of puts you at a little bit of a awkward spot, kind of like when you go in for a handshake, but somebody goes in for the dap and the hug. You're like, oh, whoa, wait, it's very easy to dap someone, but if you're not ready for it, you can look like a complete moron. I would say number 2 is almost 2.0 of number 1. They run together a little bit for me. There's a great bunker that makes you think off the tee. But it's still kind of warming you up before it spits you out to the ocean.
A little short's not bad.
Little short's not bad.
Used with an uphill putt.
I think that walk from 2 green up to 3 tee box is really where you start to get the vastness and the scale of the property, and you can see this massive par 5 in front of you. And it's not a wide open pasture. It's a wide open view, but you look out there and you see gorse and you see bunkers and you just see these lanes. It's like I have to hit these spots on this, massive golf hole, massive par 5 that's going to spit me out to the Pacific Ocean. It's like I have to get from here to way over there, and the wind is coming straight into my face from the northwest. So that's the first time when, the amp starts to get turned up,
Oh, shit! Yeah! Woo! Let's go!
You start to hear that opening crunchy riff, and it's like, whoa, strap in, bud. And then, you get to 4, and that's when the amp goes to 11, right? And it's where I shut up and just, let you enjoy it in all its splendor, its vicious beauty.
No way to, highlight how far down that goes. We are up there on this cliff. Entire United States to my left. I went in the water. Neil needs to give my belt back. He wasn't wearing a belt. I was like, dude, you're gonna get killed online.
That would have been perfect. That's what we call good content.
How about that? What a golf shot.
So my favorite hole on the front 9, and maybe the course, is actually an inland hole. It's number 6, and to me it's the Tom Doak template. It's a short par 4, and it's usually into the wind, and you've got a massive milk carton bunker that's right out there guarding the front left of the green, and if people go in there, you never see them again. And it looks like a simple drive. You have to favor the right side, but not too far right, and the wind's coming from your left to your right. So for someone like me that fades the ball, it's a very nervy tee shot. You almost pick, do you want to hit the hard shot now, or do you want to hit it later? Because you can hit the easy, just punch one out into the fairway, and if you come up just in front of that bunker, you've got this really nervy shot over the bunker, and then the backside is just real short grass, so it almost feels like, there's no trouble back there, but good luck getting up and down to a skinny green.
Check mark.
Oh! How good is that?
And I also just aesthetically love the hole, similar to number 4 Barnbougle. where it looks like I would challenge you to show this hole to someone that doesn't play golf. And it looks like, it reminds me of someone wearing a sport coat backwards. Because if you look at it from above, it looks like the front of the hole and the tee would be behind it. You know, like that, that's a par 3 that's coming in from the other direction. And I just get a kick out of the aesthetics of that hole and the strategy, and how to the, you know, inexperienced eye, you think, oh, back behind the green, that's where you want to be, but it's not.
Finally made one of those. That is the 3 for the highlight reel.
How's it playing today?
Tough. It's tough. I mean, it's windy. Greens are slick. You end up kind of putting downwind. It's pretty terrifying. And the wind is affecting putts left and right as well. So, yeah, I'd say conditions are tough. I don't know how the guys back there are doing. Neil looks to be playing pretty well, but I'd be curious to see how the points are shaking out.
Oh my God, Deej. Just be enough. Oh, we thought it was golden, but no!
Oh!
Push it. Okay. All right, he's gonna come up short anyway.
So holes number 9 through 11 start a stretch of the course that I think highlights the modern aspect of Pacific Dunes and why it's modern links golf. I think Tom Doak threw out some of the rules when he built the back 9. He's got 4 par 3s, he's got 3 par 5s, it's a par 35. He's got 2 par 3s in a row to kick off the back 9, number 10 and number 11. Number 9 has 2 greens. And to me, it's kind of summed up in that he saw holes and he said, well, why can't I have 2 par 3s in a row? Why can't I have 2 greens? Both those green sites are all world. Let's make 2 of them and we can alternate where we put the pin. It strikes me as a part of the course where you can see an architect saying, why can't we do that?
Good putt.
It's disruption, it's, you know, iteration, and I really appreciate that.
That's a brutal whip.
Neil, hell of a 9 holes there.
Yeah, we're keeping basically everything inside. I'm just saying, shut the fuck up. Stay quiet. Keep things in front of me.
Stay humble.
Tempo. Stay humble. We're 1 under. Got 21 quota points out of 32, so we're ahead of schedule.
Neil's 1 under. He's trying really hard not to think about it. One of the best 9s with this win. I can't wait to see what happens. We'll see with Squid. Maybe Squid is the.
It might be the Icarito whisperer.
Exactly. Maybe Squid's the fire retardant that sprays on his wings.
Caddies have such an impact on a round. Squid is the example of everything that you're looking for in a caddy. You know, and if you want to go out and, you know, drink cold beers and hang out, and you know, he can do that, and he can just be a good time, and if you want to act like you're Tiger Woods, he can do that too. And he can read every putt from every angle and, you know, make sure that your experience out there is exactly what you're looking for. And I had him that full day, and I just felt like I was really engaged in my game. I was trying to post the score. I was playing well, and it was just so nice to have somebody there that was dedicated to helping me do that. I think number 13 is another hole that embodies what Pacific Dunes is all about. And I have a love-hate relationship with it, and I think a lot of people do. It can be the epicenter of the rewarding feeling you get if you're playing well, but it can also be where you get that bloody nose and you want to walk off the course.
All right, we're here on 13T, and as you can hear, it's really windy, and it was a pretty complete ejection out there. Randy looked like the car wash guys on the last hole, just fish fan blowing in the wind.
It's a gorgeous par 4. It's the crescendo of that stretch from 3 green, through 13 green that's all along the water. And it's into the teeth of the wind. So you have this like vicious beauty. And it's another place where you can choose to hit the hard shot off the tee, or you can have the hard approach.
Great shot.
And personally, I had a bit of a struggle on 13. It's again where that fight can get out of control. It's where you can. It's in those middle rounds of a boxing match where you can let your guard down a little bit, and it's difficult and it's beautiful. And I think those two words probably sum up Pacific Dunes better than anything else.
Neil, how you feeling?
I'm good. I had to get that out. It's my first double today, so those 2 putts were both tricky. Downwind putts are giving me trouble, but no more wind into the wind holes, so that's good. We just gotta, we're hitting the ball great. Just a few, getting unfocused around the hole. The closer I get to the hole, I get a little company.
And if we're being honest, there's a few holes at Pacific Dunes that I don't like. I think 14 is a hole that I struggle with. It's once you turn downwind, it's a par 3, and the prevailing wind's coming out of the north and it's howling straight down. And it's asking you to land a pitching wedge or a 9-iron, onto a Volkswagen green. If you have a front pin on that green, it just doesn't feel like a very fun golf hole. And I think 16 is another one of those holes. I love the idea and the spirit of 16, but I don't think that the hole sets up, especially downwind, when the prevailing wind is down, for, there's really not a spot to lay up. It's kind of like, well, you should just go for it. But anything from 120 yards out to 30 yards out ends up in the same spot down on the right.
I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
Look at Randy.
How good is that, Randy? Was the rest of it worth it?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, exactly.
Randy might be the most dangerous man in the world right now.
Green 804 for Randy at 16.
The disappointment I get walking off a 16 green is quickly forgotten by 17. I think it's one of my favorite par 3s at Bandon. It's a awesome template Redan hole. I think it's the best Redan, much better than old Max Redan. And it's a fun shot with the wind coming off the left most of the time. And it's an exciting par 3. 18 probably leaves a little bit to be desired. I think it's a beautiful hole from above, so there's no doubt it's a good-looking golf hole. I think some of the strategy is tough.
Oh my Lord.
That's the tiger line.
Hitting driver there is tough because even if you fly the bunker, you're running out into another bunker, and if you keep it right of that bunker, you're running into the trees, and it's a lost ball. So it can be a frustrating finish there on 18.
TC's -7, I'm -10. I think we're in the race to second, so I need birdie no matter what. If TC bogeys and we tie, if he doubles, I would win with birdie. But if I don't make birdie, TC's in second place, I think.
Make a damn thing.
DJ can catch you, I think, but it didn't seem like it was going great back there.
I'd say Randy threw the towel. His corner threw the towel. I think Randy could have used the caddy. I think in the wind at Pacific Dunes, it can help to have someone there to tell you, hey, this is a 3-club wind, not a 2-club wind. And I think Randy hit early in the round a few shots with some bad intel. He didn't battle. We tried to bottom out around 13, but the glider didn't take flight again. It just it crashed and burned into that massive dune off of 13 green. R.I.P. to Randy. And the Pie Man. I think the wind outfoxed the Artis a little bit. The chippy 7 and the cutty 8, it gets vaporized and blown out to sea on a place like Pacific Dunes. You can't come with cut shots and drop shots in tennis. I mean, you got to be ready to hit cross-court forehands and rally. I did not get to play with Tron. I played with him in the morning, and it's a joy to watch him play lefty. And it's an experiment that I find I'm very proud of what he's doing lefty, but it looks hard.
I think it's the first round of golf I've ever played where I didn't make a par.
No bars.
No bars. But I made 7 bogeys, and they were like fucking substantial bogeys.
Tron is that guy that, he went backcountry skiing and he couldn't handle the conditions. He had to take his skis off and go down on his butt. It just, he hits a shot and you're like, oh man, just do that again, right? But it's like he can't, every shot exists in a vacuum. There's no feel. It's not like, oh, you're building some feel, like just, that's the trigger. It's like every shot exists like unto itself. It's almost like the movie Memento, where like his long-term memory of golf, like he knows how to play, he knows how to think his way around the course, but short-term memory is just gone. Like he doesn't know how to like recall exactly what he just did on the previous swing. He doesn't know, who is John G, right? Like he doesn't know.
The wind was like, it conquered me, man. I will say though, like I never quit.
It can be very hard to watch, but also very rewarding when you're like, oh man, he's getting it. No, he's not getting it. So there's some big swings for TC, and I don't know how he played at Pac Dunes today, but I'd be interested to see the tape. That first full day at Bandon was shaping up to be a banner day for the kid. Played great at Old Mac, held it together. Couldn't have been vibing more with Squid. Just deep in our process. Front 9 was 1 under. Some of the best golf I've ever played in some tough conditions. Finally learned how to hit some punch shots. Finally learned how to keep the ball a little lower in the wind. Finally learned how to club up. Everything was going my way. And the back 9 was a tale of two cities. The best of times, the worst of times. It was a bit of a Willie Loman 9 holes, where if you ask DJ and Randy, yeah, Neil's playing all right. He's had a couple tough holes, but he's probably a couple over. I mean, it's pretty good, but nobody knows how dark it is inside, and it's a round of quiet desperation where, from the outside looking in, it looks great, but things are kind of falling apart there. But we finished strong. We finished with a bird on 18, which usually makes it all. But I'm proud. Let me put it this way: I'm proud of the way I competed at Pacific Dunes in the wind. It was a competition with myself, with the course, and with the elements. And I think, I think when we watch the tape, I'm going to be proud of what I see. And after 5 hours of staring at all this scale and feeling the wind and watching the waves crash hundreds of feet below you, you kind of have to do something to shock the body and get you back to neutral, because it's an overwhelming experience, especially the first time you play it. And so the big guy and we did just that.